You know who made it. You know who made it. You know who made it.
What is going on, Gamble Factory family? We are back, and as you can tell, we have a special appearance. It's your boy ZROB. We got Coach T Posey, and we got our good buddy Henry. Our man Henry, he knows sports, he knows the ball, and we're getting him on the stream for the first time. You know, we got to change things up just a little bit, try and fix something so we can cash a 25x slip. And so hopefully Henry has the magic touch. So we're gonna see. Tyler, how are you feeling tonight?
I'd feel really good if my internet would fix itself and stop echoing, because I already know what chat's about to say. I feel good about football. I'm ready to see it. I'm sick of these Razorbacks losing, but I really hope my internet fixes so I don't echo the entire time.
Hopefully not. Henry, how are you feeling tonight?
Oh, doing good. With Tyler on the Razorbacks sucking, though. It's just, we're going to be permanently sick forever. But yeah, looking forward to discussing props and the games tomorrow for the slate and stuff. I told Zach and Tyler already I've got a couple interesting props that doesn't really seem like Twitter is on or anybody's talking about, and I didn't really see anything about it on DGF either, so.
Heck yeah, we'd love to hear it. Yeah, Razorback football, it's a tough life right now. We're just wasting time until basketball season comes back for the Razorbacks, so we can be happy again. But yeah, let's get right into it. We're gonna talk some Week 4 prize picks, cook up at least one slip, answer some questions, talk about some things. I already see freaking a kicker prop mentioned in chat right off the rip, guys. You know this by now. We don't do kickers, man. It's not happening. It won't ever happen.
Irrelevant stat.
It's something that I promise you, everybody will be mad if we put into the slip because it won't hit. So, but no, we appreciate you guys all coming in, hanging out with us, talking some prize picks, talking some football. Henry, Tyler, either one of you want to go first?
We'll let Henry go first to start the show off correctly.
All right, let's
Okay.
go.
all right. I'll start with one. So I'm going to be taking Kenneth Walker III's rushing attempts. So I'm pulling it up on Prizepicks myself to make sure I'm not calling out the wrong number. But I think it was like 16 and a half for his attempts, 14 and a half. So he's hit it 2 games out of this season. One of them did include overtime. But the Giants back-to-back games have allowed 18 plus. And I feel like whether this is a game where Seattle gets up 2 scores because the Giants are doing absolutely terrible this year, or even if it's a competitive game, Pete Carroll's going to run the offense through his running back. And even though they've got Charbonnet in the backfield with him, Kenneth Walker's still dominating the touches and stuff. So I think that's an easy, safe line for him, no matter which way the game goes. If they get up, he's going to have to stall the game out and get some easy attempts there. So
I like that a lot, actually. I just looked it up, and it looks like it is minus 130 on DK, and it's 15.5 on FanDuel and PointBet too. So the odds are definitely in our
Gotcha.
favor, and that's something that's gonna definitely bump.
Yeah, I really like that one too. I just didn't play it in this list because it's a Monday night game.
Oh, that is a Monday night game.
yeah. The primetime games are always rough, man.
Yeah, so I'm trying to save our primetime props for our primetime streams.
No, I,
But I
that,
do
I
like
didn't
it.
even look at that, but no, that is a great prop for Monday. I like that a lot. And you
Yeah,
probably, if you want to play it at 14.5, you're gonna have to play it tonight or tomorrow because it's
yeah,
gonna bump.
yeah.
So,
You definitely want to play it right now.
yep.
Yeah, then I can do another one as well that I was looking at for, which is at least for tomorrow's slate. I didn't even think to look at the dates when I was looking for these,
Oh
but I've
dang.
got more than just the three that I mentioned to y'all. But Chris Jones's sack prop is at 0.75. He's hit 10 of the last 14, and that would be 10 of the last 12 if he didn't have a cold streak in the playoffs. Um, the Jets have already given up 8 sacks to Zach Wilson to start the season. He's
Yeah.
on pace for like 47. I don't see a way where the dude's all of a sudden going to be better in the backfield and Chris Jones doesn't get back there to him. He's on a prove it year to make it realize either the Chiefs are going to pay him or somebody else is. He's hit it both games he's played.
I like that a lot. Yeah, dude, Zach Wilson is a sack machine. This dude will not be the quarterback for the Jets the entire year. There ain't no way.
Not a chance that he makes it.
Try to log in at props.cash to see if there's odds on that. But I like the prop for sure. I mean, you got to think he's going to get one. That Jets team isn't blocking anybody.
Nope.
Tyler, you like the Chris Jones sack prop?
I didn't even look at sack props because I don't ever look at those. Although we've had a good success rate trying to go for those, so maybe I should have. But yeah, it makes sense because Zach Wilson is a sack machine, sack magnet, if you will.
Oh, I agree. So, I mean, we have a perfect rate on sack props on the stream. So I'm down to take it. I'm down to keep rolling on it. Tyler,
Yeah.
you liking another prop?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Is that Cammy has already said my prop like 2 or 3 times now, and it's Josh Allen over 23.5 passing completions. You look back at the odds here, and most books are anywhere from minus 130 to 135, 140 in that range. So you've got the books agreeing with you. You look back to his completions. He had 29 against the Jets. All that's in overtime. You got 31 against the Raiders, but you got just 20 against Washington last week. But didn't have to throw much because they were beating them 37-3. So
Yeah.
you got most of those pretty early on in that third quarter. Maybe a few there in the fourth, but didn't have to throw last week at all. But you look at this week, and we've got the Dolphins here at a 53.5 point game total and a very close projected game. So you give me that total, you give me those odds, and you just give me a Josh Allen completion prop of 23.5, and I just feel like that's much too low. Dolphins always getting to shootouts. They're like top 10 and giving up completions to quarterbacks. I just think this line is too low, and I know you love that in your game stacks as well.
Yeah, no, it's a great game environment to target. Anytime we think there's going to be a lot of scoring, I'm all for taking it over on a quarterback's prop, literally any of them. So, I mean, even Russell Wilson completed 23 passes against the Dolphins, and we all know how Henry's boy Russell is. So,
Let's not talk about it. I do have a Russell Wilson prop, which is going to be the third prop as well. Yeah.
oh my gosh.
I'll let you, one of y'all go with another one. If Zach, you want to bring one up?
Yeah, I'll bring one up before we completely lose all viewership talking about Russell Wilson. But so I'll go ahead with the poster boy of the YouTube thumbnail today. We got Jamar Chase. I've loved targeting wide receivers against the Titans to start the year. I mean, they're a pass funnel defense. They don't want to give up rushing yards for whatever reason. They just want to stop the rush. Tennessee has absolutely been torched by wide receiver ones to start the year. They've had the opponent has had a wide receiver one go over 100 yards each week so far. Jamar Chase is fresh off of a 15 target week. Finally looked like him and Burrow were back in form. I can't believe this line's 82. I see him getting 10 plus targets again. He doesn't even need 10 targets to hit 82 receiving yards, but I absolutely love it. How do you guys feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, I looked at Cincinnati props for T. Higgins and Jamar Chase just because I saw something on Twitter yesterday that was matchups against Swiss cheese defenses, and obviously the Tennessee Titans were listed there because they just have been lit and stuff by to start the season. So Jamar Chase or T. Higgins, I think T. Higgins was also going to have a bounce back game from the bad week last week. But yeah, Jamar Chase's line at 82.5. I think his targets was only at like 10.5 or something. I think those are both going to be safe lines for that game.
Yeah. I think it's a
Yeah,
great prop.
I'm pretty much on any Bengals receiver that I can get my hands on too. I actually played Tyler Boyd earlier at 3.5 receptions.
Yep, I like that one too.
Like, yeah, like you said, I mean, the Titans just straight up get shredded through the air. So
It's a
that's
kind of
pretty.
a sneaky game stack if you can find some props to run it back with on the Titans side of the ball
Yeah,
too.
absolutely. Yeah, because it's a 2.5 point game. Like it's close.
So all right, who's next? Henry, you said Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
Oh my
so
gosh.
I've been taking Russell Wilson's passing rushing touchdown line at 1.5. I mean, obviously we saw what happened last week. I think everybody saw, other than T Swift having all the other news for the week, it was Miami dropping 70. But like you said, he still even got that completions prop. He got his touchdowns line, and I mean, he's going against the Bears defense. I don't see a way where Sean Payton doesn't say, okay, we're 0-3. We just got obliterated. Like, I either have to show something or this is obviously the season's done.
Mhm.
And Russell Wilson it's 1.5 touchdowns. I mean, it's the Bears defense. I just don't see a way where he doesn't run one in and throw one from 7 yards. I don't know. He's been making big passes to Marvin Sims. Marvin Sims has been showing out as a rookie for the few snaps he's getting. So I mean, he's got the weapons and the options there. Whether they're a good team or not, it's the Bears, and I just don't see how he doesn't do it.
I think it's solid. I actually like this game from a game stack environment too because I played the Bears and Broncos just because I think they both have terrible defenses and the quarterbacks ideally should eat in this matchup. So
Yeah, yeah.
and yeah, the Bears have given up 7 passing touchdowns to start the year. And
Yep.
so I think it's definitely a really solid prop. Let's see.
Yeah. So I guess it's probably my turn now. I just keep going back to C.J. Stroud, and I don't know which prop that I want to take. So there's a few of them that are good, a few of them that are that I like. So I am typically the pass attempts guy, as everybody should know at this point. And Stroud's pass attempts are set at like 32.5. The odds have kind of fallen a little bit on those, which is a little bit weird. But he had 44 against Baltimore week 1, 47 against Indianapolis week 2, through 30 last week in a blowout of against the Jaguars in a game where they scored like a punt return for a touchdown. It's just a lot of weird things happening. So he lost some possessions in that regard. So didn't quite get there, but he's still in it with 30. You get a game tomorrow against the Steelers where it's supposed to be kind of an ugly, weird looking game because the Steelers always make it ugly and weird. But each of the last two quarterbacks have absolutely shredded them through the air. Jimmy Garoppolo threw 44 times for 334 yards.
Jimmy G.
Weirdly enough, and then you go back to Deshaun Watson, threw 40 times for 235 yards. So didn't really light him up in terms of actual yardage, but threw a ton of times. You go back to week 1 where they got absolutely dismantled by the 49ers,
Yeah.
and Brock Purdy threw 29 times. Like Pittsburgh is allowing a lot of plays to be ran on them. The Titans or the Texans are certainly not a good team. I don't think they're going to run the ball very effectively. And Pierce is only favored for 12.5 rushing attempts. Well, you got to think most teams are right here running 50 plus 60 plays on them. So that leaves a lot of room for C.J. Stroud to get over on his pass attempts. So I'm a passing tips guy. So I don't know if you thought about. I kind of like his rush yards and fantasy score a little bit too, but for me it was between attempts and yards.
Fantasy score. I did not expect you to say that. Usually
Yeah,
don't like
no,
those.
normally. Yeah.
No, I like C.J. Stroud. I think I was eyeing his pass yards actually, but I mean pass yards, pass attempts, it's kind of similar usually. Either one, I think he has to pass the ball a lot, like you said. So I think it's a good prop, regardless of what you take. Henry, any thoughts on this?
I mean, separate from the CJ Stroud thing, I feel like you've got to jump straight into talking about Tank Dell and Nico Collins as well for other props. Because, I mean, if CJ is going to be hitting his pass attempts, hitting his pass yards, Tank Dell's at 3.5, Nico's at a push line of 4 on receptions. But I'm with y'all on CJ Stroud as well, just for attempts. It's going to be a game where he's going to throw a lot. They are missing like 4 starters from what they originally projected to start on the O line. Damian Pierce is not going to have anywhere to run, regardless of his 12 attempts
That's
or
a
what he
good
gets.
point.
Like, It seems like the Texans this year are probably just going to let CJ throw 35, 40 times a game, get 300 yards, and just get a feel for the NFL, and they're going to reboot next year, most likely, is what's going to happen. So
Yeah,
I don't see them running, and CJ's throwing.
yeah. You look at the Steelers too; they given up the seventh most attempts at quarterbacks all year. I mean, it just seemed like they're almost like a pass funnel, kind of like the Titans.
Yeah, it does seem
Yeah.
that way. And I like the Tank Dell prop too, Henry. I had that on my short list. I wasn't gonna bring it up tonight, but I definitely like it. Another sneaky game if you can figure out some Steelers to run back with
Mm-hmm.
it. Maybe like George Pickens and Pickett,
Jalen Warren,
Jalen Warren's
bro.
receiving yards or catches too. So it might be a good game stack to kind of correlate with C.J. Stroud, a couple of his receivers, and then run it back with some Steelers. So and their props seem kind of low to what it should be too. So and what it should be a competitive game. So
Somebody asked in chat who's the backup for the Raiders. It's either going to be Aiden O'Connell or Brian Hoyer. So Brian Hoyer's technically been the backup. Aiden O'Connell's not been active, but I think that they might want to try to throw that rookie out there and let him sling it around a little bit to see what they have. But he could just go with Brian Hoyer. So one of those two.
man, I would love that Raiders Chargers game if Jimmy G was playing. I think it'd be a possible little shootout. But
Jacoby Myers would be a free prop, I feel like. I mean, yeah.
yeah, there'd be some good options, but I don't know if I can trust either of those Raiders backup quarterbacks. I don't know. The Chargers defense is booty, so. But yeah, appreciate you guys popping in here. We're gonna go over some more props. Man, that Russell Wilson one's just looking at me. His face just looks so miserable. I just I
Broncos
can't.
country.
So I got one. I got two that I really like a lot. I'll go with my first one. I think I've brought it up every week, and it's Mr. Tyreek Hill. His fantasy score is still at 18.5, and I don't understand it. I can't remember what we took it at first week. It may have been 17 or 17 and a half, so maybe it's gone up a
17
little.
and a half.
Was it 17 and a half? Yeah. Um, he's hit 2 or 3 weeks. The one week he didn't hit, the Dolphins were playing from ahead, and it's just kind of weird. Like they didn't have to do much. They didn't run a lot of plays. He still had 15 fantasy score. And just kind of like it's a good run back, I think, too, with the Josh Allen attempts prop, or sorry, completions prop. Targeting that game, that 53.5 total is huge. He has 35 targets through 3 weeks, which is absolutely insane. The Dolphins want to get him the ball. They're going to move him around the line of scrimmage before the snap to try and get him open. They're going to force the ball to him and try and get him in space. I like the fantasy score. I think he scores a touchdown, but you still have the safety blanket of the fantasy score with his catches and receptions, or sorry, with his catches and receiving yards to hit the fantasy score if he doesn't score a touchdown. So I think he's like minus 130 to score a touchdown as well. So I don't know. I love the fantasy score prop a lot. So I don't know how you guys feel about it. I've brought it up every week and I just keep playing
Yeah, I
it.
was gonna say that's like it's like an automated response at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Tyreek Hill fantasy score and roll.
Yeah, and I mean, well, you're saying 18's so low. You're talking 8 catches, 100 yards for a guy that is just dominating week in and week out for the last 4 or 5 years of NFL football. So I mean, and it's going to be a high-scoring 53.5 points game. I mean, it's gonna if it goes the way that everybody thinks the way the game is going to go, there's no way he probably doesn't even just get without a touchdown get 18. Like it's a low line for what Tyreek is doing and what the offense is doing.
1000% agree. So and then. We can decide between it too for the official slip, but my other prop that I was going to bring up is Christian McCaffrey. I really like his rush yards. They have what should be an absolute cake matchup versus the Cardinals. They should obliterate them. It's like a 28 to 14 point game according to Vegas. So that's absolutely crazy to be favored 2 touchdowns. But I mean Arizona, like their run defense isn't nothing to be afraid of. C-Mac has absolutely crushed us 2 of the 3 weeks. Last week he barely hit it on a short week. So he kind of split more time than he had the first 2 weeks. 49ers are obviously not scared to absolutely just give C-Mac as much work as he wants. So I don't know. I think it seems pretty free to me at 83.5. I can't imagine him getting less than 100 versus the Cardinals. I think Tony Pollard last week just hit him for 100 and they were playing from behind. So
yeah, Jose in chat, our boy Jose said Tyreek is ZROB Luka free square. Yeah, I agree, man.
Dude,
I would say you're absolutely right.
that one Tyreek fantasy score, and then or Tyreek anything, and then Travis Kelsey touchdown. Phew, I was gonna wait till Sunday night to bring it up, but I mean, you just can't beat that mustache combo mixed with dating Taylor Swift. That dude's on top of the world right now.
All right, Henry, you're up.
Mm, So we didn't want to dive too much into Tank Dell. A guy I was looking at is going to be Mike Evans at 4.5 receptions.
Love that.
I mean, I know it's a tough matchup with the Saints, and the Saints defense is playing absolutely great this year. They had a longer week last week, and then as long as the dude doesn't get in a fight and get thrown out 6 minutes into the game,
Yep.
like he's done for with Marshawn Lattimore, I don't see a way where this Baker Mayfield redemption arc, which dude's not playing great. He doesn't get 5 catches to Mike Evans. He's throwing the ball to him a lot. Mike Evans is, another guy like Chris Jones mentioned earlier, playing on a free agency year, trying to rep somebody that he's worth the money. Like, it's just a low line. It's 4.5. Whether it's a close game and they're not having to throw the ball a lot, or the Saints get up, even though I think, are they starting Jameis? I haven't looked officially.
It's a coin flip that Carr plays.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I think regardless, though, I mean, I don't see a way where Baker doesn't get 5 passes that are catchable in the direction of Mike Evans.
I like that prop a lot. I had it wrote up. Let me check the odds. They were pretty good on it earlier.
Yeah, I played this one as well.
Yeah, minus 125 on DK. A couple books have them even higher than that. It doesn't if he doesn't get thrown out and gets in a fist fight with Lattimore? Is that
Yeah, Marshawn Lattimore.
If he doesn't get in a fist fight with him, dude, he's got to cash this. I mean, like DeAndre Hopkins hit the Saints for 7 receptions. Adam Thielen hit him for 7 receptions. Romeo Dobbs, however you say his name, 5 receptions. So like, wide receiver 1 slash. I mean, it's kind of hard to say if he's wide receiver 1 or 2. It looks like he's Baker's number 1 right now, but I mean, Mike's got to hit this. I love the prop a lot.
Yeah.
So, Tyler, you got another one?
Yeah, I've got plenty more, but I think the last one I'm going to go to, I'm kind of down to 2 as my top 3, and I can't decide. It's either Pollard, 17.5 rush attempts, or Bryce Young over his either pass attempts or his fantasy score. So I think his fantasy score is a little bit low. So Bryce Young is, our screen just went blank, of course. But yeah, Bryce Young's passing attempts is over at 32.5 right now. It's trending up a little bit. Odds have come up a little bit on that. Not a lot, but enough to where you can kind of tell a difference. Play the Vikings at home, which is a good thing. Minnesota is a 4-point favorite, so another good thing. And you go look at Bryce Young. He's played 2 weeks. Last week, Andy Dalton took over after Young got hurt. Come back through 38 times against Atlanta week 1, 33 against a tough defense in New Orleans in a really close game, actually. But then last week, Andy Dalton threw for like 40-something pass attempts. I mean, he just let the thing fly. And I don't see any reason that Bryce doesn't do the same thing here against the Vikings. Vikings always tend to make the game a little bit easier on quarterbacks. They get into these shootouts and make just really good game environments for opposing quarterbacks. So I think the line's probably a pass attempt or two too little. And the Vikings have given up 104 pass attempts to quarterbacks already this year, which is well over 30. So I think that's probably a little too low. And if you don't like that one, then the Tony Pollard one is really good too. So I guess for me, it's Bryce Young. If y'all want to pick on Tony Pollard, more than welcome to do so.
Tony Pollard against the Patriots. All right, what Tony Pollard stat?
Yeah, it's rushing attempts at 17.5.
Dude, he's been cranking them out to start the year. I like that Bryce Young one a lot. I actually like that game environment too. Man, I like all these games, it seems like. But no, I like the Bryce Young one. I was on his pass attempts, I think, earlier, just because he's kind of been really sucky to start the year. But I mean, Falcons and Saints defense are no joke. So
yeah,
I like either one of them. Henry, do you have any thoughts on Bryce?
Yeah, I looked at Bryce a little bit, just because, like earlier, that tweet I mentioned about Swiss cheese defenses, Vikings are another one of them. I feel like Bryce hasn't necessarily looked super impressive or like he's worth that draft pick yet, but at the same time, like Tyler just said, the Vikings defense just caters to a passing environment. They're a little easier on the quarterback, and I think this will just be a game where Bryce gets to sling it out a little more because they'll probably be playing from behind as well. I mean, as bad as the Vikings are from a defensive standpoint, the offense is doing what it's been doing the last 2 years with Justin Jefferson. So I think he plays from behind and he has to hit the line just to whether they even get in the game or he's just getting reps.
No, I want
Yeah,
to.
Which also makes me like Thielen. I like Thielen props as well, but I just couldn't commit. I haven't committed to it myself, but it's something I did look into just because it's there.
Yeah, and one of the slip I played earlier today, I'd stacked Stroud with Tank Dell and Bryce Young with Thielen, and just did a little mini double stack right there.
I think that's a great slip. I played the Bryce Young and Thielen props together in my Minnesota and Carolina game stack too, so I like them both. Jalen said, as a Bucks fan, I'm not trusting any Evans prop, but you can take over 0.5 fights. And then Isaac saying Tyler Algier attempts. Yeah, I thought that. I looked at that a little bit. I think it's solid. Got a few. Justin Jefferson tomorrow. The answer is yes to anything Justin Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like Panthers defense is not going to slow down Justin Jefferson. I promise you that.
Not a chance.
And then Travis Kelce touchdown. Yes, always. I'm telling you, if that dude has a mustache, man, just freaking lock it up. He's automatic. So all right, let's lock down these top 6, and then we can answer questions and get it all lined out. You guys have any that we talked about that you for sure want in? I think I really like that Chris Jones sack prop that Henry brought up. Just against Zach Wilson, I see no reason why that doesn't hit.
Yeah, if I had to pick one of the two between that and the Russell Wilson one for sure, I'd definitely be the close one. I just Zach Wilson is not a good NFL quarterback, and he's showing it, and he's going to spend too much time holding the ball, and it's going to happen. So if I had to pick one, yeah, it'd be Chris Jones sack.
Okay. And then, Tyler, which?
I think my top one is probably the Josh Allen completions or the CJ Stroud attempts. I think it's pretty close for me.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I like both of those as well. Yeah. I'm definitely loving that Josh Allen game environment. My top one's probably Jamar Chase. I don't know if you guys are good with that one being in there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Heck yeah. So that's 3, and then we got to decide between our boy Russell Wilson, who I think I like that prop. I think it hits.
I like the prop. Yeah, I mean it's Bears defense. I like the prop myself as a Broncos fan who's watched 3 games and there's no overall hope for them as a team. I think it's just an environment where Russell Wilson can get 2 touchdowns.
And then I like the CJ Stroud one a lot too. And then obviously I like Tyreek Hill. I brought it up. So you guys want to lock in anything else that we've talked about?
So
does that give us 5 or 6?
That's 6 if we.
Oh, okay.
If we go Chris Jones, Josh Allen, Chase, Wilson, Stroud, Tyreek.
Yeah, it's a good slip.
Yeah, I like it.
That's good variety, I feel like.
Man, I always worry about Russell Wilson.
Yeah, no.
Rightfully so.
I mean, I get it, but I mean, the defense is butt cheeks, so.
Oh, it's terrible.
I mean, Jordan Love threw for 3 touchdowns against the Bears.
Yeah, exactly.
And we all saw how his game went Thursday.
And I mean, as somebody who's watched all the the Broncos games, Wilson has not necessarily played that bad. Like, if you watch it, the Broncos are giving up 7.3 yards per play since week 1. They were giving up like 5.8 before the Dolphins game obliterated them. So, like, he's not necessarily playing terrible. The defense is for once letting them down. I think he's played relatively okay. And the Bears defense, that'll lock in.
Fabian said, drop that Russell Wilson.
I liked Wilson for his passing yards. I didn't even consider the passing touchdowns or his touchdown prop essentially. So
no, I like Russell. I mean, I played over on Russell Wilson's yards earlier too, just in the game stack. So I think Russell Wilson has a decent day. So I'm not really
not been bad. He's thrown for 300 2 games straight.
Somebody just dropped. I could have sworn. Oh, Alvin Kamara's receiving yards. I thought I'd bring that up. He was at 2.5 receptions also, and I was loving that. Obviously, it got removed. I think Alvin Kamara hits that 19.5 receiving yards line.
Did you see his rush attempts line?
Did not. What, 13.5?
It was like,
wow.
I wish it wasn't his first game back because I feel like there's a chance that won't be that low the rest of the season.
No.
Oh, there's no shot.
I mean, he's the only, there's no Jamal Williams. I mean, Kendrick Miller's there, but I don't remember him doing too much last week. But
I mean, if they gave him a full workload, which I don't know if they came out and said it. At 13.5 yards or attempts is an absolute joke.
Yep, I agree.
I just don't know if what they're going to do with him. I don't know what
Yep,
they're
that's
setting
what.
it as. I mean, if we knew a pitch count, boy, I would be all over it.
Mm-hmm. I think Zach, you already posted the receptions once already, right?
I did. I played it earlier.
That's what I thought. I saw that and I was like, yeah. I mean, I think he'll have enough workload for that prop, but the rush attempts one did hit me for him.
All right, I'm locking in this slip. So we
yeah,
got
we knocked this in.
yeah, Chris Jones. We got over 0.75 sacks. Then we have Josh Allen. Where we going? Over 23.5 completions. Golly, dude! I just typed Josh's name on my phone, and there's no. I typed
So many.
yeah. I typed Allen. There's too many of them. Yeah, so Josh Allen over 23.5 completions, if I can find it. There we go. And then we got Jamar Chase over 82.5 receiving yards. We have the one and only, boy, that Russell Wilson prop's going to be
That's going to have Chad.
It'll hurt if it doesn't hit.
No.
If it doesn't hit, it'll
hitting.
hurt.
It's got to
But
hit.
it can hit. It's a safe prop, man.
I think it's pretty solid. He'll probably run one in tomorrow too.
That's what I honestly thought seeing happening was he runs one in.
You heard Henry. He said take anytime touchdown prop. Go nuke it on the books. And then we got C.J. Stroud over 32.5 pass attempts and Tyreek Hill over 18.5 fantasy score. All overs, of course. You know we're not going to go on a full Sunday slate and take an under prop. That'd be crazy.
Oh, I didn't look at a single under prop at all for this. Like I don't even know if I have anything in mind for unders.
Well, for some reason my app does not want to input it, so that's what we're going to roll out.
Somebody said, give us another 5 man. I know y'all got more props.
I mean, I have more props. I'll definitely play this.
Hey, I feel like between three of us, we can make a 5-man, no problem. I mean, I could think of
I didn't even bring up
three.
6 of my props. So, yeah, I definitely.
Tyler, did you get that slip locked in?
Oh, yeah.
You want to text it to me? Or the link, if you can?
Yeah, I got
you. Dude, let's make another one. I'm fine with it. Oh, quick. If you guys had to choose, we already pretty much talked about our favorite. Never mind. I was going to say our top 2, but you can kind of decipher from what we talked about what our favorite was. Henry, go ahead and bring up a prop. Let's make another one. I'm down. We can do a 5-man.
Do we want props we haven't discussed, or do we want to mention some of the things like we didn't have, either a Tank Dell or a Nico Collins in there? I've kind of been on a 50-50 coin of which of them I want to take from the game. I mean, you've got Nico at a push of 4 receptions. You got Tank Dell at a 3.5, and I mean, Pittsburgh defense is a good defense for the most part, even though they're letting teams throw a bunch of passes. But I feel like Tank Dell is, he's the hot guy right now. Him and CJ are building something. So 3.5 just seems low. I mean, he's the guy playing more of the slot, things like that. I just don't see how he doesn't get 4 catches.
You said Tank Dell.
I agreed. I played that same line already today as well. I love that one. Love Tank Dell 3.5 receptions.
I think it's a great prop also. So I'm definitely down to play that. I've already thought about it anyway. So
also, guys, if you don't know the slip, if you go and join our chalkboard in the description right there below, I've already posted the slip into our TGF stream slip channel. So it's easy to find there if you want to see the entire slip. The links in that description right there below to join our free chalkboard.
Completely free. Don't think you're getting scammed or anything weird like that. It's free. So
yeah. So you got the Tank Dell 3.5. We still could go to our Bryce Young prop that I mentioned earlier.
Didn't we?
Yeah.
Did we not? Oh, we took Stroud. My bad.
Yeah, we took Stroud. Yeah, I do. I
kind of wish we would have played the Bryce Young prop with Tank Dell personally, but it doesn't really matter too much.
Boom! He got the chalkboard note. You love it. Yeah, and they get notifications too. So just like Twitter, if you're on our Twitter notifications, same thing with chalkboard. So perfect. Yeah, I think the next prop I look at is, again, I like that Tony Pollard one, but I already said it. So I'll go to the Adam Thielen, 4.5 receptions.
Do you rather do that over Bryce Young?
No, I think I'd still rather have Bryce Young, but I already kind of talked about that one, so I'm just going to talk about something else.
I gotcha.
And especially if something you want to get that correlates pretty well, which obviously this one it does because he's the receiver to the quarterback there. So yeah, Adam Thielen over 4.5 receptions is another one that I really like. been an absolute monster, target monster the last couple of weeks, which is not something I kind of expected going into the year. He had 14 targets last week against Seattle, had 9 targets against New Orleans. The odds are just kind of even to just slightly favored over 120, 135 odds on a couple of them. But he's just been the go-to for Bryce Young, for Andy Dalton last week especially. So 4.5 is just a little low, and I think in a good game environment, like we said, Vikings are just continually give up big games to receivers. Third most yards to all receivers. Fifth most catches to all receivers. So they're just really a pass funnel defense. So
I like that a lot. Do you want to pair it with Bryce Young in this slip?
I think it's a great correlation. I took Bryce Young's I like his fantasy score and I like his pass attempts both. Both are pretty good. I feel like his fantasy score is a little low, but
I think his fantasy score probably is a little bit low. But what's his odds on his pass attempts?
It was like minus 125. Last time I looked, let's see if it changed.
Yeah, minus 120 on DK, but there's a couple like FanDuel and PointBet 33.5 right now.
Yeah, so I'm saying it's like FanDuel's got him at even money at 33.5, so you're getting a little bit of a discount there. But yeah, like minus 120 is pretty much the going rate. But
I kind of like that. The pass attempts, I think, a little bit more.
Yeah, I kind of do too.
Adam Thielen's reception targets, that looks solid also, honestly. Yeah.
See, they didn't have that earlier.
Yeah, 6.5. So I mean,
it's essentially just 2 more.
Yep. I think that. Ooh, that's close.
Yeah, Allergy. Yeah, you know that was smooth.
My man, Allergy, dude, I love that guy.
Dude, he won part of my giveaway the other day. I was pretty happy that he was one of them.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. Oh, my man Isaac said the sleeper MLB slips hit. Let's go. We stay cashing out over there. What app/site is this that you just checked odds with? So that's I guess I'll give them a free plug, but it's ftnbets.com/propshot. You can just probably type FTNBets propshot in Google and it'll pop up. You could just like type somebody's name, or you can also look at it on the DGF optimizer. So I don't mind giving them a plug because we are partnered with them. So yeah, I like those a lot. So I was talking about C-Mac rush yards. You guys cool putting that in a slip? The only concern there is maybe blowout and he doesn't get as many touches, but
yeah, I mean that was my small concern too, because they could just be like, all right, we're not trying to absolutely crush this C-Mac early in the year. We might let Elijah Mitchell run a little bit.
But I mean,
that's my only concern. But it's the Cardinals and it's C-Mac.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the same thing could have been said last week with the Cardinals and the Cowboys, and we still saw the Cardinals show up and play. Like, it's weird to think about the fact that it is a professional football league, and still these teams that are bad randomly show up. So I think it's a safe line for C-Mac. He's going to be a workhorse, and if the game is a blowout game, there's potential that C-Mac's probably responsible for that. I mean, he's been breaking off big runs left and right to start the season.
Yep.
So.
Who is Dre Swift? Does he mean
DeAndre Swift?
DeAndre.
And I was considering taking that as well.
I like it a lot too. So
yeah, the Eagles are running the ball. Washington's been playing some pretty good defense so far, and so I mean, I feel like if it's a closer game, then DeAndre Swift might get in some extra touches that way. If the Eagles' offense is running the way it has been the last 3 weeks, he's gonna bust out a couple big plays. I think it's a safe line for him. It looks like they're making him the feature back real quick. Kenneth Gainwell had one injury, and they switched up fast.
No, I agree. I agree with that. I think they still kind of split a lot of their carries, but the way the Eagles have been running lately, man, they just want to run the ball, chew up 15-minute possessions, and piss everybody off that has the props bet on their game. But I like it a lot. I mean, he's gotten 44 carries in 2 weeks, 7 yards a carry just about, behind an amazing O-line. They're 9-point favorites. I mean, I'm down with locking Swift. His line's actually come up to 65. I think it was at 61 and then 63, if I'm not mistaken. But, I mean, he's went over 130 the last 2 weeks. So, I think it's a great prop, personally.
Yeah, I'm with it.
What about Khalil Herbert's receiving yards? Broncos give up most yards to running backs.
Let's check this out.
Khalil?
Yeah, I've seen his receptions for favorite.
He's not wrong about the Broncos giving up yards to running backs. They definitely lead the NFL in that. I just didn't know about
204.
A Bears prop that requires Justin Fields throwing the ball.
I mean, but against like the worst
But
passing
against
defense.
potentially, yeah, like it might be. I mean, it could be super safe. I personally had looked into the Bears side of things for props.
I kind of wish I would have played that instead of. I think I played Cole Kmet with my Justin Fields
Bro.
stack, but
That seems disgusting. Not
Yeah,
gonna
so he's
lie.
at 8.5 receiving yards.
he's
His
playing.
receptions line is 1.5.
Yeah,
He's playing
1.5
like
is-
50 to 60% of the snaps on average. It looks like so for running
Yeah, I
backs for
mean,
him. I think it's solid, but I don't know if I'm gonna play it.
I think it's one of those props that's like a super easy cash
It
as soon
looks
as the
like
game
it,
is over,
yeah.
or it doesn't happen at all. Like he
Mhm.
doesn't get a catch. I think that's what happens with that. Like that's what I feel like looking at this.
He has a 1.5 reception line, so like he catches 1 or 2 passes. If he catches 1 pass, he probably doesn't hit it. If he catches 2 passes, he cashes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to me, it's his reception prop is what I would be playing. Or they take it down already.
It's up.
It's
On
there
there,
at 1.5.
1.5.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Yeah, that's what I would play if I'm having to play
I think it's
any
solid.
Bears props.
Our boy Dylan's wanting a kicker field goal prop. You go right ahead.
I swear to God, we could make a kicker punter prop every stream we've done since we started this.
Just based off of Chad's recommendation.
Oh,
We probably should. I think they usually cash when they bring it up to us, and we say, nah, we're not doing that.
Yeah, that is true. We need to do it one time just to try it out.
I do like that, though. He says Saints will get nothing but field goals. I would not be surprised at all if Derek
Yeah.
Carr doesn't play. Keenan Allen fantasy score or fantasy over or yards? Either, dude. I mean, his lines are juiced up, but he has had a monster year to start the year, and now they don't have Mike Williams and a good matchup, so.
Yeah, I was curious if Mike Williams leave and we see Palmer get a bigger role and get those catches because I think his lines were set low. But it's like Keenan Allen scares me. They seem boosted.
No, they
Like-
are really high. Josh Palmer is interesting though. I'm just worried. Like, are they gonna bring their new guy in? Was it Quentin?
Quentin Johnson.
Is it Quentin
I think.
Johnson show now, or like, is it the Josh Palmer? Obviously, Josh Palmer's gonna get more run, get more looks, but man, they could lean Quentin Johnson's way a little bit more now.
Yeah, I agree. Like that's why I hadn't really talked about that side of the ball or that side of props for the Chargers any, just because I don't know what that offensive Mike is down. I don't think Palmer's proven that he's worth filling a bigger role. I'm sure he's the next man up, but
Yeah, no, I agree. But I don't know for sure. What else? So we got Tank
how many do
Dell,
we have?
3.5 receptions. Adam Thielen, 4.5 receptions. Bryce Young, 32.5 pass attempts. C-Mac, 83.5 rush yards. And DeAndre Swift, 65.5 rush yards. That's 5. We can just do 5,
Yeah.
or we can sneak one more in there. I know we said we were only going to do 5, but it's so hard not to want to do 6 props.
The only thing I could think of real quick is I don't think we put Mike Evans in that last 6 picks.
Oh, that's true. We did talk about that. I do like the Mike Evans prop a lot too. He ain't gonna get thrown out again. Come on.
Surely not. I mean,
Baker loves him. So
yeah. And it's just, 4.5 for a guy like Mike Evans, I feel like is just based on what we've seen the last couple of weeks between him and Baker.
yep. I think that's a really solid slip actually. I kind of liking this almost as much as that first one.
Hold on. Do we want Adam Thielen's receptions or do we want his targets now that they added those? Because I didn't have that targets prop whenever I did these.
His targets like 2 higher is pretty.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah.
I like his reception targets personally. I just had his receptions because that's what you brought up.
Yeah, and I didn't have that. The targets weren't listed when I made this list, so I think the 6.5 is probably a little bit better.
I mean, I agree because Bryce Young has not proven to be that great yet. So
not
you
very-
would think
not very
Thielen's going to get
efficient.
peppered with targets.
Yeah, I agree. I like the targets a little bit better.
I had to go back and look. Mike Evans has hit 5 receptions, 10 of the last 12 games.
Yeah, it's pretty spicy, and all 3 with Baker, which is what's more important, which is this year. So
Yep.
How many of those were against Lattimore?
he probably
He only had 4 last year in the first game. He
he
had
didn't play the whole
3.
game. He got thrown out.
Well, did he get? I thought he got thrown out the first game. They played him twice in this
Didn't
division.
he get thrown out both games?
Oh, I don't know.
I can't remember.
Dylan is telling us not to choose Mike Evans against Lattimore. Do not do it.
Don't choose Mike against Lattimore. Lattimore will not allow Mike to cash. Dude, come on. Lattimore is giving it up this year. Let's look at this real quick.
I need to get this pulled up.
All right.
I like Mike Evans as well.
So
And so do the books.
I don't pay a ton of attention to Saints defense. Not an expert in them by any means, so I don't know if Lattimore shadows. Is he going to shadow Mike Evans? I don't know if we know that. But if you look at it this way, DeAndre Hopkins had 7 receptions against the Saints, and that's their main guy. So I don't know if Lattimore is if he is gonna cover Hopkins or not. I'm sure there's a way of knowing. I don't personally know how. Then the next week, Adam Thielen got 7 receptions. Dude, Mike Evans is better than Adam Thielen. Come on. And then we got Dobbs. He had 5 receptions with Jordan Love. And I know it's hard to compare it like that, but you said last year Mike Evans had 4 receptions against the Saints?
He had 4 and 3
4
in both games.
I wish I knew how many snaps he played because I can't remember if he got thrown out or not.
So his shadow rate's 35%. If that helps any.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking to find.
Yeah, he's.
However,
shadow rate, I guarantee it's different against Mike Evans. Though.
it is. The last 2 games, he's shadowed Evans 13 out of 15 routes in the perimeter, and then the most recent game, he shadowed him 14 of his 23 perimeter routes.
Yeah, so he's shadowing Mike Evans. There's no question about it.
That's crazy how much they switched it up for a matchup.
Lattimore's going to turn into prime Dion against him. Lattimore 5.5 over punches thrown. You guys are funny.
Before we decide our 6th pick, as we're looking up Evans, let's make sure we like and subscribe to the stream. Man, there's like 15 likes here and 110 people plus watching.
Oh yeah.
Make sure we pop that. We really appreciate that support, and as we try to grow this channel to continue trying to catch you guys out.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely do that. Definitely means a lot to us, dude. So do we go Mike Evans against the streams wishes? I like it, man.
I like the prop, but man, it is when you start looking into it.
These guys are talking me off of it.
For the specific matchup, like when you look into it with the Saints, man, it's kind of, I don't know. I feel like any other team, Mike Evans, it wouldn't even be a line at 4.5. But
that is true.
Yeah,
that's
they're
why
trying to bait us. They're baiting us, boys.
Yeah, I feel like if we're gonna switch them out, we've got to have a reasonable prop, like not something we're just whipping up real fast, like something maybe y'all are more certain about. But
I mean, I got a bunch of props,
myself
but
don't have anything like super well researched.
I mean, I do. I have a crap ton.
Oh, I know. Obviously, I'll do much more. I came in with a few that I looked into a good bit, but so if we want to switch it out, I wouldn't be against switching Mike Evans out.
Okay, yeah. Tyler, what are you liking?
I mean, I like
the stream did ask for the extra slip, so I guess we could appease that one. Maybe make it more catered to what they wanted to have input on.
So I've done a couple. Here's a couple I'll just throw out there really quick. And if you like any of them, just pop it off. I liked Patrick Queen over 7.5 tackles and assists.
No idea.
I actually really love that one. Jalen Warren 2.5 receptions against the Texans, and Tyler Boyd over 3.5 receptions. Oh, also that Tony Pollard prop too. Those are the 4 really that I really like that I have not used.
Tony Pollard against the Patriots.
Patriots, yeah, 17.5 is good. But the Patrick Queen one. Let me pull up my research here. It's pretty good prop here.
I'm pulling it up. It has good odds. It looks like.
Yeah, it was like minus 140 earlier. It's kind of gone down weirdly. But he's had over 7.5. He's had 11 tackles versus Houston. He had 8 versus Cincinnati, and 12 versus Indianapolis. Granted, that there was overtime involved in that game.
But he probably still cashed 7.5.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you catch that. But then you go and look at who they're playing. It's in the Cleveland Browns, and it's pretty much a team that's going to run the football quite a bit. Even though Deshaun has thrown it a few times. But yeah, so Nick Chubb, obviously not there for a little bit, but they ran the ball 40 times against the Bengals. And what is that, week 1? in that crazy weird rain game.
Yeah, that was a crazy weird game.
And then the Steelers only ran it 21 times against them, or the Steelers, excuse me, against the Steelers they ran it 35 times, and the Steelers had several tacklers really high up there. So Browns are still running the football quite a bit, even though this has been really good game scripts for them. But 7.5 is definitely too low.
I'm kind of getting talked into that one for sure. I'm just
I mean, I didn't look into very many tackles or assist props. Didn't make it over to looking into that section, but I like the matchup and I like the player based on how he's performed to start the season already. I mean, I don't see why. Like Tyler's saying, it really does seem like it probably is at least 1 or 1.5 low for what his line should be set at based on the matchup and the team they're going up against.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, somebody just said that Sean's shoulder's a little sore as well.
I saw that report come out a couple of days ago too, actually.
Interesting. So they might run the ball a little bit more. So.
Yeah, I mean they've run it over 30 times every single game anyway.
Yeah, it's a bunch.
And the Titans last game had 2 guys double-digit tackles, several with 9. Like people are just getting really involved heavily in tackles. Because the Browns are actually running quite a few plays. Like they've ran 60+ plays each game. Like they are good about holding on to the football, keeping that time of possession pretty good for them. So giving him a lot of opportunities to hit.
Dude, last week the Colts ran the ball 35 times against the Ravens.
Yeah.
Well, that's just running backs. Now Minshew didn't run any, but I could see them having to run the ball and him racking up a ton of tackles for sure.
Yeah, I mean, literally the Browns have literally on average like 68 plays a game. Like they are they're just really holding the football.
Apparently Derek Carr is optimistic to play. So,
okay.
For whatever that is worth to you guys, that's a good find. Gibbs FN. Diggs receptions 7 over or Trevor rush yards. Dude, I like Diggs tomorrow, so you cannot
Passing
go wrong
matchup
with our boy Diggs.
Yeah,
Kirk Cousins yards, dude. If it's less than 300, nuke that. He's probably gonna have over. Don't nuke it. Don't. But if he has less than a 300 prop, he could probably take the over and cash more often than not this season.
Pretty sure they still had him under. I think he was like 293. So they got him at. He's at 282.
Yeah,
even lower.
Yeah, I was saying he was like 280 something when I played the games. I think it's 283, so it's dropped a little bit for some reason, but. They have Akers now, man. They're going to turn into a running team.
That would be nice for our season-long slip.
It would be. Well, part of it. It kind of sucks. We have Cam Akers, Justin Jefferson, and Kirk Cousins all in this same slip now.
That was really unfortunate.
Oh, y'all have Cam Akers in a season long? What's the prop?
He was only at 750 yards. He was like 75-yard discount on Prizepicks than most other of the sites.
Calvin Ridley against his old team. I don't think there's any bad blood between him and the Falcons whatsoever. So it wasn't the Falcons' fault that he got suspended. He just was dumb and bet on the Falcons, and they lost him money that way. So no, I like it. I like these 6 a lot. So let's go over this real quick and make sure we're all on the same page. We got Tank Dell, 3.5 receptions. Bryce Young, 32.5 pass attempts. C-Mac over 83.5 rush yards. Swift, 65.5 rush yards. Adam Thielen, 6.5 targets. And Patrick Queen, 7.5 tackles and assists. All overs, of course. Does that sound good?
That sounds exactly what
Yeah.
I like that slip a lot. So, was it Kirk first half fantasy? I'm gonna look that up real quick. I haven't looked at
Kirk or Christian Kirk.
I think Kirk Cousins is what they're talking about.
That's what I would think.
8.5 fantasy. I think his full game's like 19, isn't it? Let's see. Oh, it's at 18. But still, you're getting really good. Not really good, but you're getting solid value. Because 8.5, that just adds up to 17. So I like that first half fantasy score prop a lot. I mean, he's been a green goblin. hitting this line. So no, that means he's gonna have to throw a touchdown and 125
Touchdown
yards.
and 100, yeah.
His first half prop is 140 on Prizepicks. So if he throws a touchdown, this is gonna hit. Waddle.
I did think about taking Waddle props. I ended up not really discussing it just because I already know it's in the game stack and stuff, things like that. So try to stay away from it. But Waddle had some good lines for what's supposed to be a high passing matchup.
I like it a lot. I mean, it's hard for me not to like anything from that game, especially when it's like the main targets.
Yeah.
I mean, the Dolphins are going to target Waddle and Hill. Those guys are going to have over 20 targets.
Yep.
So I wish my props at cash would work. I think he's covered this a decent amount, or like the 2 times last year he played against the Bills. I'm trying to pull it up.
I'm pretty sure he did great games against the Bills when I looked into it. Separate from Waddle, the Dolphins prop that I had looked at earlier was Tua's 18.5 fantasy score. I don't think there's any way the Dolphins have 5 rushing touchdowns again. Like, especially because Buffalo tends to have a little bit better of a rush defense overall. And I figured no way Tua doesn't probably crush that 18.5 line if this game does get to the game score of 53.5 or more is what we would hope for. That's what we want is more. But
yeah. I love that fantasy score line. I'm super surprised that it's only 18.5. I think it should be like 20.5, honestly.
The Bills have not allowed a rushing touchdown this year, by the way.
Okay,
really?
Bingo. That really sells the whole 5 rushing touchdown thing. So.
Yeah, but
I mean,
they haven't gone up against.
Passing.
Dude, what do you say?
They've only allowed 2 passing touchdowns this year, though.
Yeah, they've looked good to start the year, but like, look who they've played also. They've gone against Zach Wilson, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Sam Howell.
That is correct. It's not been good.
And like, the Jets suck without Aaron Rodgers, obviously. The Raiders have not looked great to start the year. And then the Commanders, they're up and coming, man. They're up and coming. So
the Commanders are the Commanders. They just lost 37-3. So
yeah. So I mean, they haven't gone against anybody as good as the Dolphins, by anywhere close to the Dolphins. So it's gonna be a little bit different for them today. We'll see how well their defense actually is. Hurts passing touchdown under 1.5. That sounds right. He doesn't throw for 2 touchdowns often, I feel like.
Probably doesn't even have to tomorrow, especially against that with that matchup.
Gosh, yeah. I mean,
Andre's going to fall down at the 1-yard line, and then they're going to tush push, and then there's a Twitter post where it should be banned. Rinse and repeat.
Every time.
But I want to say this just to get it out there because that reminds me of why can't Arkansas make that play?
Oh, dude.
Why? They have
we could go on that for way too long.
We got Rocket Sanders right behind this dude. All right, good talk.
No, I saw a point though. I think it was a defensive person brought it up about the tush push. They were like, "We can't do that on defense. You can't like push.
Yeah, you can't push a player into a player."
So like, I based on that logic, they either need to allow it on the defensive side, or make it to where you can't do that on the offensive side. I'd rather them make it to where you can do it on the defensive side personally, but.
And maybe specify like goal line formation you're able to or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, you say it's a legal formation for like defenses on goal line to push or something just to that way you don't get rid of the offensive side of it too. Like you leave a battle at the trenches aspect to it.
I agree. Isaac, we're not throwing in a kicking prop, brother.
Isaac's been putting a lot of props in the chat. I've been noticing.
Isaac's gonna cash out tomorrow. He has some good ones, and I'm sure he's gonna make some money off his kicking props, and he's gonna rub it in our face. So, Justin Jefferson receiving.
Sorry, just to let y'all know again, I've seen a few people ask about the slip where you post it in certain places. It's already actually in the Gamble Factory chalkboard, free chalkboard. Right in our description below, and I've already posted both slips into that TGF stream slip channel, so might as well join that, and it's free.
And then we're gonna ask about Justin Jefferson. I'd probably go as receiving yards, just because, I mean, he's favored over 6.5, so a 7 line seems like a pretty good chance at possibly pushing. If he just doesn't have a nuclear game, that 103 receiving yards, he can hit that on just like 5 catches, so. I like it a lot. 103 is too low for Justin Jefferson. I said it all the time last year that his props are low, and we kept taking overs. So, Whoa, Frost said he hates kickers also.
Boom. Whoa, Frost, you're accepted.
No kick. We're gonna get T-shirts made that says "No kickers."
Yeah, merch in the description below.
Android won't. You should be able to get the Android app. You just can't do the streaks thing, unfortunately, for Chalkboard.
I think once they hit the update, I don't think you can do Android at all anymore.
Man, come on. We'll post it on Twitter later too, Eric.
Just for you.
Just for you. We'll at you specifically. Henry rushing yards. Henry, how many rushing yards you gonna get tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not moving off the couch tomorrow.
I'm taking Henry over 0.5 trips off the couch.
That's just because he has to go to get a snack and use the bathroom. So.
Mm-hmm. What is Derrick Henry's rush line? 67 and a half.
67 and a half. How does he usually do against the Bengals? Is that a thing?
StatsMe says everything.
Looking right now. Ooh. He only played one game against the Bengals last year. I props that cash is acting. Pulling it up right now.
Yeah, also, like, why is
He averages 67.3 against the Bengals.
He's actually only hit that line once.
I would certainly fade that. I'm not ever taking a Derrick Henry under, but I'm certainly not. I'm just going to fade it.
Second half kickers can be low-key surgical.
All right. Have fun with them.
Dude, I really look at their 0.5 prop every time, thinking about putting them in there, and I'm like, I just can't do it. Henry combo touchdown? Who's he comboed with? I see nobody unless I'm over. He's just a touchdown by himself. I don't know. I don't think it's for me.
Yeah, no.
Kamara and White rush yards combo?
I don't know what to think about. If we knew Kamara was getting...
Yeah, if we knew what his role looked like.
I would just take Kamara rush yards by himself. I wouldn't combo with White because the Saints rush defense, I think, is pretty good.
Yeah, it is. The Saints defense is playing great this year. If they just weren't absolutely exhausted last week, that's another game they would have won.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to lock into slip so you guys answer questions.
Yeah, I already locked in. If they come in with anything Kamara, like a pitch count, or if he's on 75% plus or whatever it might be, I'm taking his rushing attempts and I'm going to the bank because 13.5 on his is absolutely too low.
Yep.
Yeah, Russell Wilson bounce back game. That's Henry's boy. We already took him in.
He's not my boy.
It's Henry's favorite player.
No.
Hey, Henry.
Broncos have ruined themselves for years.
He took that 1.5 touchdown is what he took for Russell Wilson. But I also liked his passing yards at like 242 or something like that is what it was.
Henry, if we hit a 25x in the Russell Wilson slip, will you get a Russell Wilson jersey and wear it next stream?
We'll see what happens. It'll be a Seattle one back when he was good. Maybe I can manifest something for the Broncos.
Oh my god!
You guys
I'll get one from the 2012 Super Bowl when he beat him like 40-8.
You need to get a maybe the Broncos will tank for Caleb Williams. I don't know if they can out tank the Cardinals, but the dude was nasty. He had like 400 plus pass yards and 6 passing touchdowns today.
His second college game was 6 touchdowns.
That's incredible. Any, I don't know. Olave Thomas, I think I'm going to fade that because I just don't know about Derek Carr. And I do not trust Jameis Winston.
Yeah, I will say I would be hammering Olave at 71.5 yards, I think is what he is, if we had any certainty. Mm-hmm. What was that? Say Derek Carr doesn't get hurt last week and that's his line again this week. I'm taking that. I've taken Chris every week to start the season. He's playing absolutely great.
Yeah, I've taken Chris every game also so far to start the season. I think he hit for us last. Yeah, he hit for us last week.
So this man say Kelsey has lipstick on him.
Dude, I know. I cannot wait. For the Sunday Night Football stream. It's just absolutely hammer Travis Kelce. That's pause.
Did you see Sleeper change his profile picture to Taylor Swift?
I did, dude. That's crazy.
What are you doing here, Sleeper?
And there's so many like Taylor Swift NFL combo fans now.
Yeah, it is a little bit upsetting.
Field should get one pass touchdown. Is that? I know that was on Sleeper. If that's on. Oh, it's a push. You can go to Sleeper. I don't know if it's still there. He had .5 passing touchdown prop, and that's like minus 250 or something crazy like that. Can you scroll up? Yeah, I got you. This is the second slip we did. Tank
The
Dell.
Justin Fields, Roshan Johnson rush receiving touchdown would be interesting.
Ooh.
If Roshan somehow saw goal line work, or
Or if they
maybe
got
just
to go on.
yeah, that'd be a good first start for them. You're not wrong.
I think that's solid,
But-
though. I mean, you gotta think one of those two would. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna personally play it. I just figured I'd mention it since I typed in Fields and saw the prop there.
Yeah, Frost. Carr is questionable. Apparently, he's looking optimistic to play. But you gonna post him in Patreon? Yeah, I will. After this stream. Well, boys, do you have anything else to say?
That's all that I got.
Went over a lot of props. So yeah, we got 2 slips. This is the second one that we did. We'll post both of them. Tyler's already posted them in Chalkboard. We'll probably post them on Twitter too here in a little bit. They're definitely in Chalkboard. You can look at the link in the description below. It's free to check out. We'll be back to talk some Sunday night football. Henry, you gonna join us tomorrow?
There's a chance of it. I'll have to talk with you tomorrow. I'll let you know.
All right. So, but Tyler, I think you're down for tomorrow night, right?
Yeah, it'd be about 6 o'clock.
Good.
Like normal, right?
Yeah, 6 o'clock Central Time. We'll be live. Those Sunday night football streams have been popping, and we got our wagon Travis Kelce to play tomorrow, so we got a free square. And then we got Chris. We already got 2 props because we're playing Chris Jones for that game as well tomorrow. I just realized that.
Yep.
So Henry's looking into the future, but so what I'm taking from this stream is y'all's favorites are CJ Stroud. God, I cannot believe that is a possibility. But yeah, we like CJ Stroud a lot tomorrow. We think he has to do work. So, but we're gonna get out of here. It's good chatting with you guys. Appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you like and make sure you subscribe so you get notifications for future streams. So.